WansWrld.
You destroy the planet!
Man, oh man, this might be one of the most disturbing / funniest SpongeBob episodes of all time, so let's talk about it. This episode kicks off with Mr. Krabs saying he was done making his new sign about the new Krusty Krab work hours, and as you can see, this was crazy. If you have to be there at 6, that means you really have to get up at 5. All my adults know this. Not only that, but you're gonna be there all freaking day, as you can see by the hours. My guy Squidward wasn't too happy about this, saying it was unfair, but we all know SpongeBob was loving this. This is when things take a dark turn when Mr. Krabs looks out the window and sees that the chum bucket is now open 23 hours a day. So this man gets angry, thinking Plankton was challenging his authority or something, because he says the Krusty Krab will now be open 24 hours.
24 hours!
And I'm sure it's not hard to tell how happy SpongeBob is about this. Just look at him. And Squidward, not so much. Now, being open 24 hours isn't some scary thing, because companies like Walmart and McDonald's have did this before. However, being that the Krusty Krab only has 2 employees, yeah, you're especially you, Squidward. SpongeBob says we can just keep working and working without ever going home. Am I dreaming? This man starts pinching himself repeatedly, trying to see if he was dreaming. Like, bruh. Now on the other end of the spectrum, Plankton's plan was falling in line. He had only increased the chum bucket store hours because he knew his greedy enemy Mr. Krabs wouldn't like this. Mr. Krabs doesn't want my guy to even make 1 cent. Honestly, I don't know how this guy keeps the lights on. Maybe Karen is paying all the bills. But Plankton says Mr. Krabs will run his employees into the ground, working them for 24 hours a day. And when SpongeBob's mind cracks from exhaustion, he'll get him to tell him the Krabby Patty's secret formula.
15 minutes later.
I thought it was funny, but Karen wasn't laughing. Probably because she knows this shit is gonna fail. Bruh, now it was already day 3 of non-stop service and SpongeBob was still holding on strong. He was in the back spitting game to a freaking Krabby Patty. Now more time has passed and it was now day 10 and Squidward was starting to crack. He says, Mr. Krabs, can I go home? He says, no, no one goes home. This man Squidward says, look at these bags under my eyes. Even my bags have bags. Bruh, that screaming lady was freaking hilarious. This man Squidward is something straight out of a R.L. Stein Goosebumps book looking like that. If I'm Mr. Krabs, I'm letting Squidward go home strictly off the screen of him looking like that. Now he says, you don't hear SpongeBob complaining, do you? Yeah, looks like he was happy as always. But we all know SpongeBob isn't normal. He tells Squidward he could learn a few things from SpongeBob, but I'm not so sure about that. He gives Squidward a tiny 5-minute break and tells him after to get back to work. This man Plankton notices that SpongeBob wasn't cracking under exhaustion, so he says it was time to apply more pressure, and Mr. Krabs squishes this man thinking he was a spider. Hilarious. This episode is pure comedy, man. Now to amp up the pressure, Plankton calls the Krusty Krab and places a order for 10,000 Krabby Patties. Mr. Krabs busts in the back and gives this man SpongeBob a fake motivational speech and tells him to make these Krabby Patties with no breaks. Bro, you can't be serious. Now I know it's been all jokes so far because this episode is pretty funny, but this is when things start to get really freaking disturbing. The days pass and SpongeBob just keeps working and working and working, and he finally starts cracking under the pressure. He was about 8,000 patties in and it had been 43 days. Just look at this disturbing look in Squidward's face. And at this point, SpongeBob was so exhausted he wasn't even making actual burgers anymore. This was a complete disaster. Mr. Krabs goes in the back to see SpongeBob losing his mind. SpongeBob had made so many Krabby Patties that everyone around him was turning into them. He was horrified. Bruh, why is this episode funny as hell and disturbing? Now SpongeBob was losing his mind in front of the customers. So Mr. Krabs drags him in the back, and I don't even think Squidward's soul was still in his body at this point. SpongeBob tells Mr. Krabs that everywhere he turns, he just sees killer Krabby Patties, so Mr. Krabs ends up recommending a psychiatrist. And of course, Plankton was listening in on this conversation, so he changes the chum bucket into a fake psychiatrist's office and tries to con the formula out of SpongeBob the entire time he's there. But each and every time he tries, he just ends up either hurt or getting trolled completely by SpongeBob.
Potato.
Potato.
Tomato.
Tomato.
I told you guys no one is a better troll than this guy. So by this point, Plankton had tried every trick in his book and nothing was working. So his last attempt at getting the formula out of SpongeBob was by using hypnosis. So he does this and puts him in a deep sleep, but after doing this, he can't seem to get SpongeBob to wake back up, and he tries everything to get this man to wake up, but he just doesn't. And we see inside of SpongeBob's mind, he was having what appeared to be a nightmare. We see this Krabby Patty slowly pacing towards him, but all he does is give him a cookie pizza and some chocolate milk, to which he and the Krabby Patty make amends. Yeah, but in reality, it seems that SpongeBob just needed some rest, and when he wakes up, he just runs back to the Krusty Krab saying he has to get back to work. Looks like Plankton's plan had failed again. So we see SpongeBob back in the kitchen cooking when Mr. Krabs comes in, telling him it's good to see him back, saying the whole 24-hour thing was done, because he says 23 hours would be plenty. Oh, Mr. Krabs, when will you ever learn, dude? But yeah, guys, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and also tell me what you thought about this funny and weird SpongeBob episode down in the comments below. And also check out more of these videos here on my channel. But until next time, guys, peace.